1960s, a golden era of automotive design, and a time when engineers let their imaginations run wild. These weren't just cars, they were rolling experiments, packed with complex tech, wild features, and obsessive attention to detail. These are the 4 most over-engineered cars of the 1960s. Number 1. Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. When Rolls-Royce set out to create the Silver Shadow in 1965, they didn't just build a luxury car. They engineered a moving masterpiece so overbuilt, so meticulously crafted, that it redefined automotive excess. This wasn't just a car, it was a rolling monument to British engineering obsession, where no cost was spared and no compromise tolerated. At its core, the Silver Shadow was the first Rolls-Royce to use a monocoque chassis. But this wasn't some flimsy unibody. It was hand-welded with reinforced steel sections so thick it could probably survive a minor artillery strike. The suspension, a hydraulic self-leveling system licensed from Citroën but refined to Rolls-Royce's insane standards, using complex nitrogen-charged spheres to ensure the car floated like a magic carpet, no matter the load. Under the hood sat the legendary 6.2L or 6.75L Rolls-Royce V8, an engine so overbuilt it was essentially bulletproof. With only around 200 horsepower, Rolls-Royce never officially disclosed power figures because adequate was all you needed to know. It wasn't about brute force. It was about silent, unstressed torque that could propel the Shadow's 2.5-ton mass to 115 mph without breaking a sweat. These engines routinely clocked 500,000 plus miles with proper maintenance, and many are still running today with original internals. Step inside, and the Shadow revealed why it was the undisputed king of luxury. The seats weren't just leather. They were hand-stitched Connolly hides, tanned using methods unchanged since the 19th century. The Wilton wool carpets were so thick they felt like walking on a high-pile rug. Even the wood veneers were cut from single trees to ensure perfect grain matching, then lacquered and polished for 20+ hours per panel. Rolls-Royce's engineers even over-engineered the climate control. Instead of noisy electric fans, the Shadow used a complex engine-driven ventilation system with silent, draft-free airflow. The power windows, a novelty in the 60s, were engineered to rise and fall slowly, because a rapid motion would have been vulgar. The famous Flying Lady hood ornament could retract at the touch of a button to prevent theft, a feature no other car offered at the time. Number 2. Volvo P1800. The 1961 Volvo P1800 wasn't just a stylish coupe that turned heads. It was a Scandinavian engineering marvel that pushed the boundaries of durability and design in the 60s. Volvo, known for boxy safety, threw caution to the wind with this sleek, Italian-inspired beauty. But the real over-engineering lay under the hood and in its bones. The P1800's B18 engine, a 1.8-liter inline-4, pumping out 100 horsepower, later upped to 130, was built like a tank with a 5-main bearing crankshaft, a feature typically found in beefier race engines, ensuring it could run forever. Volvo didn't stop there. They fitted the car with a bespoke M41 gearbox with overdrive, a complex setup for a sports coupe, allowing silky smooth cruising at high speeds. The chassis was another masterpiece, with a fully independent front suspension and a live rear axle tuned for precision, making it handle like a dream, despite its hefty 1,100 kg frame. Every component screamed overkill. Triple carb setups in early models, disc brakes on all wheels, a rarity for the era, and a body so overbuilt it could shrug off rust for decades. One P1800, owned by Irv Gordon, clocked over 3 million miles, earning a Guinness World Record for its insane longevity. The P1800's hand-assembled quality, with bodies crafted by Jensen in England, and later by Volvo in Sweden, added to its exclusivity. Only 47,184 units were made by 1973. From its chrome-laden grille to the meticulous dashboard, Volvo poured resources into details that didn't just serve function, but screamed ambition. This coupe wasn't just about getting from A to B, it was Volvo flexing their engineering prowess, creating a car that blended elegance, performance, and bulletproof reliability in a way that made the competition sweat. Number 3. Bristol 409. Buried in automotive history lies the Bristol 409, a car so obsessively over-engineered it makes modern supercars look disposable. This wasn't just another British GT. This was a mechanical masterpiece, where no compromise was too extreme and no detail too small. The body. Hand-formed from aircraft aluminum by craftsmen who likely rejected panels for imperfections invisible to the human eye. While other manufacturers switched to cheaper steel, Bristol stuck with aerospace-grade materials and techniques, resulting in panel gaps tighter than a Swiss watch. Power came from a Chrysler V8, but not as you know it. Bristol's engineers took the already robust 5.2L engine and transformed it into a silky smooth powerhouse, mounting it in a chassis balanced so perfectly it could outhandle sports cars half its weight. The de Dion rear suspension with inboard brakes wasn't just advanced for the 1960s, it's technology some manufacturers still don't use today. Inside the cockpit, the 409 shamed RollsRoyce with Connolly leather so thick it needed breaking in like fine leather shoes, wool carpets woven to Savile Row standards, and wood veneers cut from single trees to ensure perfect grain matching. The sound insulation was so effective, you could hear the ticking of the analog clock at 100 meters to fart. Each 409 represented over 2,000 hours of hand craftsmanship, a stark contrast to the production lines pumping out hundreds of cars per day. Number 4. Saab 96. The Saab 96, produced from 1960 to 1980, stands as a peculiar but brilliant example of Scandinavian engineering, one that leaned heavily into functionality, safety, and idiosyncratic design. Unlike many contemporaries from the muscle car-obsessed 1960s, the 96 prioritized aerodynamics and structural integrity over brute force. Its teardrop shape wasn't just for show, it was rooted in Saab's aeronautical background, giving it a surprisingly low drag coefficient for the time. The early models featured a two-stroke, three-cylinder engine, a power plant more commonly found in motorcycles than sedans, yet it was reliable and easy to service. Later versions upgraded to a Ford-sourced V4, offering more power while still maintaining the car's quirky character. The engineering eccentricities didn't stop at the engine. Saab's obsession with safety led to front-wheel drive long before it became industry standard, dramatically improving traction in the snow-covered roads of Sweden. It had a freewheel clutch system, which allowed the engine to idle while the car was in gear, reducing engine wear and improving fuel economy, though it took some getting used to. The body was built with reinforced crumple zones and a deeply curved windshield that enhanced visibility and structural integrity. Even the ignition switch was placed on the floor between the seats, a location chosen to reduce the risk of knee injury during a crash. Inside, the Saab 96 was sparse but purposeful. The ergonomics were carefully considered, with intuitive control placement and a cockpit-like dashboard that gave nods to the company's aviation roots. It wasn't flashy, but it was intelligently designed. The 96 also found unexpected success in motorsport, particularly rallying, where its balance, durability, and tenacious handling won events across Europe, especially in the hands of legendary driver Erik Karlsson. It was an underdog on the track, just as it was in the showroom. While it never aimed to be a muscle car, the Saab 96 was a triumph of practical engineering, overbuilt, underappreciated, and unmistakably ahead of its time. Thanks for watching! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you're always in the loop. Catch you in the next one.